my background is both in entrepreneurship and marketing. I've spent my whole career working in early stage businesses, building them from 1 to 0 or 0 to 1, from small businesses that are local to big tech startups. Right now I'm doing a lot of work in the AI space, so I understand what it means to build a business with not a lot of resources, to be up late at night, like Dom said, trying to figure out how to make ends meet, how to make those hard decisions. And I usually sit in the marketing seat. So today they asked me to come talk a little bit about what's going on in social and some ways that we can help you get started. So how many of you have one account that you're managing, one platform? What about, keep your hand up if you've got 2. All right, 3? Any 3s? Oh my goodness, 3, okay. 4? 4 accounts you're managing. 5? 5 accounts in the back. What about 6? All right, we topped out at 5. So this really plays into some of the things that we're going to talk about today, which is how do you manage that many pages and do it really well when you've got a million things to do, right? Social media is not your primary, piece of your business that you need to focus on. And that makes it really hard to do it really well and feel like it's working for you. Today, I really want to help you get unstuck. We're going to talk about how to choose the right platform so that way you're not spreading yourself too thin, how you can spot trends and how you can use them to really move the needle for yourself a lot more quickly without always having to come up with these bright ideas and think really creatively yourself, and how to get seen by the right accounts. Creating the content is part 1, but how do we get the people to actually engage with it and see it? So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I want to start with that platform problem that we were leaning into, which is that most people that are posting on social are doing a million things. And you probably feel like you're spreading yourself pretty thin, and social is not high on your list of things to do in your business. I see a lot of shaking heads out there saying, yes. Same goes for me. I work in marketing. Marketing myself is not my favorite thing to do. If I'm trying to do it in too many places at once, I don't do a very good job. I always say that marketers are like the redheaded stepchildren of the family because we're like the cobbler's kids with no shoes. We don't do our own marketing very well, but we do everyone else's beautifully. And one thing that I hear when I see people are managing 5, 6 different pages for their business is this problem right here. They're active everywhere, but they're seeing traction nowhere. And it's because you're spreading yourself so thin. So what I want to focus on today first is how to focus on just one platform and do it really, really, really well. Just one. Because if you do one really, really, really well, you'll grow to be able to say, hey, let me hire someone that can handle this to do 2 or 3 or 4 and do all of them really well. But if you're trying to invest in all of them at once, that becomes pretty tough, right? So my first advice to you today, focus on one platform and do it really, really, really well first. And what I usually recommend is starting with one of the big 6. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, now X, YouTube, or TikTok. Why? They have the biggest audiences, they're the most mainstream, so you'll be able to reach customers pretty quickly. And it's pretty easy to find interesting tutorials, interesting content, lots of people to follow who create content that you can use for inspiration on them. So we're going to go through each one of these and talk a little bit about the audiences on each of them, what types of content work well on each of them, and what types of businesses typically do well in these platforms. And once we do that, I'm going to have you ask yourself 3 questions to determine which one of them is the best one for your business. So Facebook, huge audience. This is like the birth of social media that's actually stuck around. They generate 4 million likes every single minute. I don't want to know how many likes that is while we've just been sitting in this room right now. It's got a pretty broad demographic, so you've got everyone from 25 to 65 plus. It definitely skews a little bit older in their demographic, so if that's an area of potential customers or clients that you want to reach, this might be a good place for you. It's definitely known for being community oriented because they have a groups function. So you can create groups around interests and affinities, and you can tag on to existing groups in your area. Like, I don't know if any of you guys follow Sonoma County Foodies. Oh, yeah, imagine being a restaurant and having access to people who love your food like that. That's beautiful. So it's great for people who are trying to build affinity around a topic, want to do that locally, and also that want to have that community-oriented engagement. They want to talk to people. Groups are great for that. They're also the only platform that has events. So if you're doing anything around events, that's one good option for you. They really do well with both photos and videos. It's one platform that you can actually post links in, unlike Instagram, and have people click right through, so that's a benefit. And it's honestly because it's been around so long, if you ever want to do paid advertising, this is going to have the most robust paid advertising options and targeting options once you get there. So this is great for restaurants, retail shops, anything that's very community driven that you want to build community around. Now, Instagram hasn't been around quite as long, but it's also owned by the same company as Facebook. And one thing to know about Instagram is that their engagement rate is 4 times higher than Facebook's. So if you're debating between the two and you're not sure where to go, and you think that this might be a good place to find your audience, lean more toward Instagram. This one skews slightly lower. Their most active audience is between 18 and 34. So when you think about your customer demographic that you're trying to reach, that's how old these people are that are going to be the most active on the platform. Not to say others aren't there as well, but the most active. It's very visual. So be prepared to be visual in your content. So if you have product photography, if you're creating videos on the regular, this is where you're going to really shine with really high quality imagery or video. Not to say you have to have it. We'll talk about that in a minute when we get to content, but this is very visual. Think about it as like your page is a collage and you want it to look very pretty and interesting. This also works well for a lot of local businesses. So when you think about the types of people you want to engage and the types of content they want to engage with, Instagram is going to be much more focused on video and entertainment. Facebook's going to be a little bit more focused on people who want to be a part of community and get tips and interesting conversations going with one another in groups. TikTok, this is the newest of all the platforms, but it is growing rapidly. You're going to have a much younger demographic that is most active here, but it's also getting older. Like my dad sends me TikToks now, and it always surprises me. I'm like, Dad, why are you texting me at 11 o'clock at night? Because he loves the short form video. This is all short form video. It's very entertainment driven, so everyone's trying to find a way to entertain you on this platform. Everything is based on trying to find, interesting audio and making it your own. So this is really, really helpful to understand trend spotting for. And it's great for anything you can do in a quick, 20 to 30 second video, a tutorial, a challenge, showing behind the scenes of what you do at work. Fun, kind of humorous videos really work well here and people engage with them. So I just put a couple examples in here. Let's say you're a restaurant or cafe, you've got food prep that you could show in a quick video. You could do real estate tours. You could do unboxings of new things that come into your store whenever you get them if you're in brick and mortar. You could do quick tips for professional services. Like one of my clients is runs sleep studies. And so we have a TikTok for the business that just does sleep tips. With one of her scientists. And he's got 5,000 followers who just follow him for sleep tips. And that's all he posts. And people love it because everyone sleeps and everyone wants to know how to sleep better. So there are a lot of ways that you can leverage this without it needing to be, I think there's a perception that it's, the young kids doing the trendy dances, and a lot of people that, are in business don't really want to do that. But you can leverage this in your own way. You just have to think about how to spend that for your business. And we'll talk about that today. So if you're doing anything B2B, so you're selling business to business, this is probably where you want to be. This is going to be heavy focus on networking, all professionals, lots of industry leadership. If you're trying to do job postings, this is the best platform for it. Content types that do well here are articles, updates on your company, insights into what's going on in business, talking about professional milestones for yourself and the company. So this works really well for a lot of service providers that are selling to other businesses. A lot of professional services people like me. This is where I do a lot of my business on a consulting basis. Anyone who works heavily on referrals, this is going to be the right platform for you. One thing to know about this platform, though, is that you better be ready to be front and center yourself, because the company page posts only reach 2% of your followers when you post. Your personal page, 10%, because they want people interacting with people. So if you are getting ready to do LinkedIn for your business and you want to really push for that as a primary channel to get new customers, make sure that you're selling just as hard on your personal page as you are posting to your business. Because as you grow your personal page and your followers and your connections, and every time you post there, that post will get 10% of those followers as your initial reach versus 2. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Make sure you're front and center. YouTube, this is the second largest search engine in the world. Guess who's the first? Google. And the best part is they're owned by Google. So they own 1 and 2 slots. So people are here searching. It'll be interesting to see how AI kind of replaces that, but people are here searching because they love to watch video-based content. So if you have the ability and the interest in creating video-based content in more than 10 to 15 second short clips like on other platforms, this is a great place to be. It's good for how-to videos. It's the best place if you want to do anything long form. So if you're explaining, like me, I would be able to do this if I wanted to explain marketing, different facets of marketing. Anything that requires a lot of education. So products are great for that, especially technical products. This is great for how-tos. This is great for reposting webinars. This is great for making video blogs. If you're, showcasing, let's say, a new platform that you've built, that's a great place to be able to walk someone through every single feature. Last but not least, I put this at the end, X, because post volume on X has gone down significantly since they rebranded. 25% less content is getting posted on X. Everything on X is very short format. For forever, that's how it was with Twitter. They've kept that, where you have very limited characters in which you can actually say anything. And I'll show you some examples of that. So you have to be very short and succinct on X. It's pretty broad age range. There's a huge focus on kind of real-time updates. So I know like with Facebook, it used to be that I'm posting about my day as I go through it. Now that's what this really is quick snippets. You only have, I think, 90 characters here. So if you're giving short tips, you're giving updates regularly on things that are happening live, this could be a good place for you. Now this is my golden rule. Don't pick your platform based on your comfort zone. And when I say that, I say where you spend time personally and where you're comfortable engaging on social outside of your business may not be the same place that you need to show up for yourself, because that's where your customers are. So for me, I spend a lot of time on Instagram. I don't spend a lot of time scrolling through LinkedIn content because I get enough business content in work every day as it is. So I want to enjoy my time on social. That's my comfort zone. But if I start posting content about business-to-business services there, I'm not going to get a lot of engagement, because the people that are there aren't looking for that. They're looking for that on LinkedIn. So even though that's my comfort zone, it's not the right place for me to be trying to reach customers. So take your comfort zone out of the picture. Think about where that opportunity is. And there are 3 questions I'm going to give you today on what that could look like. So the first one is, where are your customers already spending time? That's where you want to be. If you're somewhere that they're not spending time, you are talking out into the void and they're not going to be there to listen. The wrong people are listening. The second question I'd say is any partners that you have or you want, so potential partners in business or referrers, where are they active? Because that'll tell you where you should also be active. And then which platform is going to help you get discovered the most easily? And when I say that, when someone goes online and starts searching for you, are they doing that search in social? Where does that audience search for information for you? So those are 3 questions I want you to ask yourself. And with that in mind, I want to know, who feels like they're focusing on the wrong platform today? Anyone? We got 1. Who feels like they're focusing on too many? Yeah. So my challenge to you today on platforms, pick one and do it really, really, really well. Make sure you're picking the right one.